Got it. I'm just sure it's charging, right?
We are live. We are live. Good evening, ladies. How are you?
Good evening. Hi. We're very okay, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good evening, Zambia, wherever you're watching us from. I have my two beautiful ladies over there. I have my president, Madam Saboi Imboela, and also Madam, is it Olivia Piri?
Yes.
So I will start with you guys. You can just introduce yourselves. Our viewers have been waiting. So while you introduce yourself, I'll be sharing in the groups. Go ahead, Madam Savoy. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, like you have already said, I'm Saboi Imboela, and I'm the president of the National Democratic Congress Party, NDC.
I'm Olivia Piri, the National Resource Mobilization Chairperson, member of the National Management Council Socialist Party.
Thank you, wonderful ladies. So we are here today. It's already late. We have been trying to go Facebook Live, but technical issues. Luckily, we have so many options. So we are here via Zoom interface, streaming live to Facebook. So our topic today is the shrinking democratic space and the failed attempt to remove Madam Saboi Imboela as the president of NDC party. You look beautiful, by the way, both of you ladies. Madam Saboi, what is the acronym NDC stand for?
Oh, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for your compliments. You look beautiful as always as well. Good to see you. Well, NDC stands for National Democratic Congress. It's one of the opposition political parties that we have in Zambia. It was created in 2017. You know, it has had a member of parliament before. We've participated in various by-elections. We stood also in the last general elections, you know, at almost all levels, apart from presidential, you know. So that's basically briefly about the National Democratic Congress Party, NDC.
Thank you. Madam Piri, give us a brief history about the party you represent as well.
SP stands for Socialist Party in Zambia. And this is a political party led by Dr. Fred Membe. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have the big parties here represented here today. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I'm excited. Socialist Party is one of the biggest parties, I think, after Patriotic Front. So we are talking about the shrinking democratic space and the attempted removal of President Saboi from the presidency of NDC. So your take on that? I don't know. Let us start with the attempted removal, and then we'll talk generally about the shrinking democratic space in Zambia. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's very, very sad and unfortunate that we have experienced these kinds of coup d'etats, you know, over a period of time. There have been all these attempts by the ruling, you know, party. You know, this is not the first time that they're trying to do that, but this time around it was actually more lethal than ever before, you know. And for me, also, and as a woman leading a political party, I see this to be very, very unfortunate because the UPND should be very comfortable with other opposition political parties. They should be very comfortable also that we do have political parties led by women because politics in Zambia is not easy, especially for us as women. Our politics are very toxic. Our politics are very what is this? A very what's the word I should use? They're not encouraging, you know, for women out there. So when you have political parties being led by women, even if you're not a member of that party, I think the ruling party should be able to support that and encourage women and other people out there just to be a part of the NDC or just to leave the NDC to exist as it does. But we have seen that there have been several attempts. You know, most times you don't even come to the public. You know, this was so out there and people are able to see. But they've done and come up with so many machinations from 2021 to now to actually try and grab by the NDC from me, you know, just that I've been very strong, I've been very determined, and also I've used the constitution of the NDC. And I've been very, very loud and clear on that one. whereby I've just told them to say NDC does have a constitution, and that constitution is the one that we follow, and it has to be obeyed by the members of the NDC, and the party in power has got no right to choose the leaders of fellow, or rather of other political parties, in the country. So when we are resolved the way we are resolved as the NDC to ensure that our political party runs smoothly, no matter what the ruling party does, we make sure that we're able to defend our political party.
Thank you, madam. Actually, it's really sad because women are marginalized in our country in terms of politics.
Yeah. Yes.
So women are marginalized, and we can see that even with the current government, we have less than 10% women representation in the current government, which is really sad, considering that we have more than 51% of the voters are women in Zambia. So, Madam Piri, what is your take on the attempted hijack or removal of Saboi? As a woman yourself, how do you feel? How does this affect you?
Actually, really, what is happening in Zambia apparently is so disheartening and very sad. And I think, to me, I would confirm when we heard the president talking about it in the we are seeing that now it has come to action. So it's like who would say, this drama started with DP. And I think as the opposition, we didn't realize how serious these guys are. So we saw Comrade Harry Kalaba being actually kicked out of the party that he had started and was part of it. They sponsored the Judith Kabembalet, who is another woman, and it's so sad that this is why I think I'm on my ground to say women should not allow to be used day and night. I'll still say it even today. So there was a woman who was used to go and remove the owner of the party. As that was not enough, they came to the PF. And right now, even in the PF, it's drama because you don't know even what is happening. When it fits them, the courts, they refer to the court of law. When you go to the court, you are not seeing any direction of what's happening and what is the way forward on the PF. Now, coming to NDC, this is one of the female-led political parties. We thought women, and we thought President HH and his administration, they'll have partiality and they'll be partial to women. So to them, I think it's not about the woman. It's about, I think, how the president of NDC has actually come out to remind them on all the wrong things that are happening. And my president, Dr. Fred Membe, has not been spared. It's so unfortunate because now my fear as a member of the Socialist Party is it's like there's a sequence. They started with DP, PF, now they're with NDC. And my fear is the next will be Socialist Party. So to me, really, I think President Hakainde Hichilema and his government, they are slowly ushering us back to the one-party state because it's like he doesn't want to govern with other political parties, which is very unfortunate. And then what is so shocking, what they speak and what they're doing are totally different. So coming back to this NDC, how can you have the state police to be always guarding the illegal convention? Because what happened in Mulungushi for the Mao Sampalade, whatever they were calling it. Hello? Yeah, so when you look at what happened in Mulungushi, there were a heavy presence of police. And to us, really, I'm a taxpayer. So that is abuse of the police. And they cannot say they are not involved. What was the state police doing there? And the same happened in Cabo, because the state police was there to ensure that at all costs, that convention starts. And we are not surprised because there is a PS who has decided to be a civil servant and enjoy taxpayers' money at the same time wants to play politics. I think Akafumba, PS Akafumba needs to be warned. He cannot play double standard. He's the one behind all this confusion in NDC. It is a non-factor. And then he's the one in charge of the same police because he's a PS under the Minister of Home Affairs. So to him to come out, and you can see like today, we saw some press conference where the group now was trying to clean them. After all, they're already part of the mess. So to us, really as women, it has given us that this government does not mean well for this country. They don't mean well for the democracy of the country, because they are not sparing anybody, which is very sad. So the other greatest challenge that we are facing as women, there's a lot of cyberbullying against women. And we have not seen the state to come in to protect the women. And they have joined in also to go and grab a political part from a woman. Actually, that is cowardness for a man, because let him fight maybe with fellow men, but it's extended to women, which is really giving us very discomfort as women in politics.
You know, all this is like too much for me. I feel like Zambia has become another country, you know, like everything that is going on, the oppression, the lack of respect for the rule of law, the involvement of civil servants into active politics in trying to kill democracy is mind-blowing, you know. And I'll repeat and I'll say it again, that the president swore to hold the constitution in the Hero Stadium. I was there when he was sworn in, when he received the instruments of power. I was there. He swore publicly, and it was a global, it was televised internationally, where he was swearing that he will uphold the constitution of Zambia. So my question now is to ask the president, is this what you call the rule of law you are preaching day and night? Why are you not firing these permanent secretaries, all these people in your party who are misbehaving and abusing the office? We have seen the hand of the law heavy upon opposition. If you are in opposition, the law will come after you. But our president is sort of protecting people in his party. What is your take on that? I know you guys are on the top of in terms of governance, in terms of opposition. So what can you say to the Zambian people, and what can you say specifically to the president?
What I can say to the president, one thing that President Hakainde needs to know, that Zambia first were in one part state under the union. It was very clear. It was very clear. But until when we got the multi-partism, that was 1991, democracy was introduced. But what we are seeing, because it's like, I think President Hakainde is trying to discourage competition in 2026. He doesn't want to compete with anybody. So what they are doing when they grab these political parties, they have their own faction that is heading. And a good example in NDC, there's a Kafumba led. Whether a Kafumba tries to be smart, he's a PS, and the silence on the government and the president himself on all the atrocities that are being done to this political party. When he preaches the rule of law, so we don't understand what he meant, because then the president, even when he was campaigning, he said, "You'll fix it." Unfortunately, those that believed in that his campaign manifesto, they didn't ask, what are you going to fix? And what I want to say today to President Hakainde Hichilema, his quest to fix his opponent has distracted him to deliver on the promises that he promised the Zambians. His quest to try and kill the opposition, he's been distracted by doing that which he promised those that the 2.8 from the 19,000 million Zambians. So of the country, and all you want voluntary, we have continued to sell.
So we have lost the connection. Let's see. Okay, they are back. You are welcome. You can't hold a woman down. You can't hold a black woman down.
So you see, this is I think to me now, this is the Mingalato by Zictor.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so to me, when President Hakainde assumed to office, like you have said, his son allegiance should have been to this country and the constitution of the land, because it's very clear there's no one who is above the law. Now we have a president that feels like there are people that are indebted to him, and he needs to fix people because they treated him in whichever way. And that's what has made him actually lose focus on developing this country, on doing the right thing, because all he does is to check who is saying what about me and fix them. He needs to realize he cannot govern without the opposition. There's a space for the opposition, and there must be space for his government. And for them, I'll give an example. One government that tried, they had two strong opposition, UPND under Mazok and the PF under Michael Sata. The MMG, we saw how sometimes they would even reverse on wrong decision because the opposition would stand when they try to make it wrong decision. But to this government, you oppose, you correct them, you are considered as an enemy. And before you realize, they're abusing the police. And today I want to speak even to those in police offices. Government come and go. These men in uniform needs to realize that today, Hakainde Hichilema has the power. Tomorrow it can be Fred Membe. Tomorrow it can be Saboi Imboela. Tomorrow it can be anybody else. They need to realize how are they going to work with the people that they're abusing, because it's a duty of these people around the president to advise him what shouldn't be done. We have seen, I think, how certain people like the former IG was kicked out because I'm sure he tried to be professional and advise this, and this is not in accordance to the law and all that. But what is happening, anything you say, they will arrest you. And what is so fun, I'll talk about most of these arrests. Like my leader, Dr. Fred Membe, he's in court for cases that don't even exist. They will arrest you on this matter. By the time you're going to court, because they can't qualify it or it does not exist in the law, they will change. And the latest one was, I think, on the 1st December. He was supposed to appear on the case, which they arrested him. When they went there, they said no, because they had to change now. It could not qualify because it did not exist. And the history of Zambian politics, this is where I've seen, you can be arrested for theft. When they go to court, they'll change that, no, it's not theft. They're being arrested maybe for something else. They are quick to arrest without investigation because they're working under instructions. And in as much as they might want to try, President Hakainde Hichilema cannot hide that he's not involved in everything. His silence not to condemn all the wrong things that are happening. That's why as the opposition, it's an indication that he's the one that is instructing. And on the issue of NDC, Akafumbe must realize today is PS. He will face the law once this government is out. All those that are committing crimes, time will come, they will answer. We have no problem arresting people who are committing crimes. And what's so sad, there are people committing crimes under the UPND government. Those are immune. People are not committing crimes. To mention that there is this corruption, you are arrested. So we don't understand when they say there is a rule of law. We don't understand whether the opposition, that's why now we have come not to realize or to know the law, because everybody open your mouth, you're arrested. But if we are ready to go to the cells. We are ready to go to jail to protect the constitution of this land. And what we are refusing, we don't want women to be used. Women, and I want today to applaud one gallant woman that refused to be used in the case of PF, the former registrar of society, because she advised the right thing. We saw her being put on the bench. So there are all these things. Zambia today and the Zambia we had previously is totally different. We don't even know when you're waking up, you have no idea what you're going to wake up to. And what I want to talk about something, also the issue of this compensation. How can you compensate people only belonging to one political party because they worked for that party? I thought when we joined these political parties, we are supposed to work for our people. Yes, there are people that died. And what is so interesting, if you remember, I think those that died during the previous regime, it was the police in the process of trying to control the protest, people died. But what is shocking, just last month, or if it's not the beginning of this month, they are saying ZNS officer shot the boy. They are not saying UPND. To them, they are able to quantify that shooting is not them, it is ZNS. But the shooting by the police of those that they're compensating now, they are saying it is PF. So, you know, they are forced to try and really use the wrongs that PF did to justify the wrongs that they're doing. It's also another injustice that is happening in this country. And it's so sad. And to me, President Hakainde is on record condemning all the wrong things that were wrong under the PF. Today is so silent and encouraging. Actually, what was wrong under PF cannot be right under UPND. He should have been an example. He was incarcerated. He understood what injustice was. Why has he doubled it? To him, everybody that speaks, everybody that tried to remind him, this is what you said, and this is what the Zambians are expecting. Before you know it, you are arrested. For whatever cases, they've even started creating cases we never heard of in the history of this country. Like my president was arrested on the case of, what are they calling that case? Espionage. Espionage is an offense. It's a case where you go and spy, you know, on a country using the whatever. But this is a person who was speaking, giving information, condemning the wrong activities. So now they failed to quantify that in court. By the time you're going there, the state is not ready. But they will have incarcerated you, they will have arrested you for a day or two, you are in the cells. So to me, if they're compensating people that died in line of whatever was happening, there's the late Kungo, the one who was the provincial chairman for Northwestern, who died on the day of election. He was killed by the UPND cadres. When are they going to compensate him? I'll talk about Mumbi Piri. He went behind cells 400 and something days. 400 days. This is a woman who was accused of a murder. They knew very well that she was not involved. When are they compensating Honorable Mumbi Piri? When are they compensating? Nawaki was arrested. And then after Rachel came out and saying Nawaki was accused, it was us who were sent. Does the Nawaki deserve a compensation on those charges that they arrested her, a sick woman harmed from home, taken to the cells? But there was somebody now who came and confessed that actually it was not even Nawaki, it was us. Why have they, does the Nawaki deserve to be compensated? And this is why we are saying this compensation issue is another new latest corruption of abusing the resources of.
Yes,
it's a fraud, plundering of our nation, of our
it's a scam. Embezzlement.
Will not be surprised even those that will not be surprised to hear that even those that are being given a 4 million, maybe 0.5% is going to somebody, because there's a big deal in this government. Will not be surprised. Who hear where we are going, that those that we are saying they're being compensated 6 million, they ended up maybe with 2 or 3 million. The other one is going somewhere. Because it has never happened. Where are they getting the monies? When they say they inherited empty coffers, where is the money coming from? Nowhere. How do you compensate a minister? A minister himself is a state. And today you're saying he needs to be compensated, suing himself to get compensation.
Yes, it's a conflict
of
interest.
So you know what? Yeah. These guys, we don't understand. We don't know what is going to be left when they are gone. And 2026, we are ready because they have turned this country into something else. Okay? And we cannot have a government where they just want to revenge. You know, this vengeance is like now when you wake up, you don't know what is going to be mushroomed. We saw how they were talking about, oh, these guys stop. You look at the SCC cases and DEC, all those, the grabbing of people's properties. Today from nowhere, these angels are owing properties, even those that are doing nothing. So what are they telling us? Now, when you try as an opposition to remind them, before you know it, the police will be unleashed on you. The issue of arresting opposition unnecessarily. Another sad part in my history of this Zambian politics, do you need a permit to have a memorial service? We saw it happen in Kawa. Do you need a permit to start having memorial service? Tomorrow will be told for you to have a funeral, you need to have a permit. So to us, really, this abuse of the police, is it the police that are excited? Is it who is excited? Can President Hakainde Hichilema address this abuse and the misconduct of the police? Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Olivia. Madam President, what is your take? You know, I know, Madam Olivia, you brought up a lot of topics, and I feel as women, this is our time. you know, because the men have failed us. We've had 7 presidents, and the country is poorer than it's ever been. The country in terms of the quality of life of the citizens, you know. After 60 years of independence, people are wallowing in poverty. And for me, I feel like it is time for us to campaign for women leadership. You know, our men have failed us. Even the current one who came preaching to be a holy angel has turned out to be the worst. I think HH's presidency is the worst. You know,
certainly.
It's the worst in economically, you know, democratically, you know, even in terms of regionalism, tribalism, everything has just gone from bad to worse. It's like a terrible nightmare. So I think, you know, your last comments, Madam Saboi, and then we'll wrap it up with Madam Piri. But just take your time and just share whatever you want to share to the Zambian people, because I feel like you need to be coming on. We need to do these programs more so that we speak. We are not even going to make appointments. We just come live and talk to the people. I think as mothers, children feel comforted when a mother comes to comfort him. I think our youth need a lot of comforting from us women, because I think women are the last hope. In this problem that we have in Zambia, women, we are going to save Zambia, because I think our men are fighting. Even if PF comes back, I see a lot of vengeance. They have hurt each other. You know, I think women will be able to start afresh and just build from the ashes going up. We are not going to look back. Because I was arrested for 127 days, I want to arrest everybody. You know, because I was stopped from holding a rally, nobody will hold a rally. I think that is just, it's terrible, really.
It is. And you've put it very correctly when you say that, you know, just let me just say perfectly when you say that, because right now it's about I was arrested, so everybody else has to be arrested. I didn't hold a rally on this day and that day, so nobody holds a rally. This happened to me, and I have to revenge on almost everybody who was a part of it, or people that were not a part of it. So it's exactly. So it's a very, very sad. You know, when it comes to women leadership, like you have rightly said, you know, women are very, very good leaders. We've given chances to men 7 times, and we are seeing the results which are there. The vengefulness is just increasing. I think we need to build, like you have said, we build and start afresh. You know, we don't look back. Whatever it is that has happened in the past, we move forward. If you look at us talking about women leadership and women coming to the fore in terms of our politics, it's not just a gender agenda, but research has proved worldwide that where we have more women in governance, actually countries have developed. If you look at the Scandinavian countries right now, they're amongst the best developed countries with the best quality of life in the whole world. You know, so if you look at Sweden, Finland, Sweden, all what is this, Norway, you know, all these countries are countries where the good quality of life is really there. Denmark, talk about New Zealand, you know, so proof is there. Come back to the African continent. Namibia is doing so much better than us. If you look at South Africa, if you look at Rwanda right now has got over 64% women representation, and that also has shown. You go there right now, you compare Rwanda, a country that was at war for some time, and you compare that to our country, you start wondering which country has been at war before. You know, more than the development agenda that these women have proved that you put us women there, we're going to develop our countries. Just during the time of the COVID, if you look at the time of the COVID, the countries that are led by women are the ones that sorted out the COVID faster than everybody else. Yet again, countries like New Zealand were a shining example. Countries like Germany, countries like Denmark, you know, all these countries really came to show the world to say, okay, women are in charge and they're able to sort out these problems. So back home, let us give the chance to our women as well Because if you look at Zambia as a country, historically, you find that the women have been there in the forefront, leading, their societies. But when the colonialists came into Africa, they actually distorted that. Because if you look at Britain, for example, even America for that matter, they were not so good with their gender. If you look at the American Parliament right now and the European Parliament, of course, they're so much better than ours, but they have not been so much gender balanced like these other countries that I mentioned earlier on. So they brought that mentality, for example, the British of it being male-led, and we remember that this is the time also when the Bible was introduced to the Africans, and there also the misused chapters, for example, like on submission, okay? As Christians, the Bible clearly says that a wife should submit to the husband, but that was misinterpreted for a woman to submit to every man out there. So you find that even in the work environment, they expected a woman to submit. You get the point? Yeah. It's all about wife submitting to the wife, to the husband.
I'm with
a
you.
woman
I
I have
am
to submit.
with you 100%.
Yes, exactly. So all those things were things that brought so much distortion to us. But if you look at our culture, our history, the Shaka Zulu kingdom, first and foremost, look at the role that the women were playing. Even when you watch Shaka Zulu now, you don't really get it from the movies because the women's roles, and they were so powerful in those kingdoms, they were not really shown. In Zambia, okay, a lot of our kingdoms, even the Bemba, who are matrilineal in nature, okay, they were able to really, really put the women the right, give them the right positions that they deserved as the so-called queen mothers. So both patrilineal and matrilineal kinds of societies were able to do that. The losses themselves, Apumi, a lot of people do not even know that the first Litunga actually was a woman. The first Litunga of the Lozi people and the 16th were women. But today, in today's Zambia, in our Zambia, go and suggest that the next Litunga should be a woman. They're going to think that you're mad, because when the men took over these positions from the women, it became a kind of a thing where we can't even talk about a woman leading anymore, So women traditionally have been in the forefront of leading our nations, have been in the forefront of leading our societies. If you go to West Africa, just a short example, yet again on women leadership on the continent, the Dahomey kingdom, where the whole concept of the Wakanda forever, the Black Panther concept was taken from of the movie. And now there's a woman king that has been made by Viola Davis. You look at how the women were the ones that were the warrior queens, or just warrior women to defend their societies. So Zambia right now, we need to get back to our original form of respecting women and giving the women the right positions. Because as women in this country, trust me, we can do what the men can do and even better, because leadership is natural to us. But we've been made to believe that leadership is not natural. We are told that leadership is for a man, So with that, the confidence that a woman needs in order to lead the country, they don't have it. So we really have that job, that task, to remind the girl child, especially the nursery, where the girls are coming out from, to say, this is who you are as a girl in this country. You can lead. The women, as we grow, our ages right now, this is our time. We need to go out there, from the councillors, the MPs, the presidents. We need to know that women, we can definitely lead and do a very, very good job.
Thank you. I just want to chip in right there where you said, I came to Zambia last year and I visited Chief Mukuni, the palace. And we got a tour of the palace, and one of the aides over there gave us a history of that kingdom, Chief Mukuni, how it started. And the history of the Chief Mukuni, say a woman came across from Zimbabwe. A woman chief crossed from Zimbabwe, and another Chief Mukuni, I think he came from South Africa, and they married, and that's how they formed that kingdom, a Chief Mukuni. So it was a woman chief from Zimbabwe, and he said that he told us that from the beginning, the woman was in charge of the land, and the man was in charge of like disputes and other things. So I agree with you where you say that, you know what, when the colonial masters came, they distorted, they broke down our moral and cultural fibers because men are easily corruptible. So they shifted the power from the women to the men. Because women, even now, even if politically we are weak as women, but we are the one who raised these sons of ours to be politicians. We raised these men by selling tomatoes. Myself here, I recently got married, but I've been single for the longest time, and I raised 3 daughters by myself in a foreign country.
Wow, lovely.
Yeah. And we see men abandoning their own children. But even when I come to Zambia, there you see women selling tomatoes. It's all women everywhere, women hustling. And this is the narrative we have to kill. Our sons need to be reminded that, you know what, we raised you. So if we raised you to be the man that you have, to have the degree that you have, when it comes to politics, I'm not good enough. We have to kill this. I think it's just a mingalato to discredit us women, because they know that we cannot be corrupted, because along with colonialism came corruption. Up to now, we are still fighting this colonialism in form of investors, and they are still corrupting our men. And the women, they have been told to be submissive in those marriages and not to talk. And I think going to 2026, we have to promote women for them to speak and not be scared, and have the talk with their husbands. Ask a husband to support your wives. You know, a lot of women, they are very strong politically, but they are broken down when they go to those homes. They are asked to choose between a marriage or a political career. You know?
Yeah, very true.
So we have a job, ladies, and we'll be here, we'll be talking. We need to educate our women, because if we let the men continue in Zambia, we will have no country. By the time 2026
very true.
This UPND government has already sold some of the land and some of our wealth mines. It's either they have sold to investors or to themselves, and leaving Zambians to die in poverty.
Yeah. Very true.
It's very sad, actually, even when we start seeing these praise singers that wants to defend, support every wrongdoing. Because what's so sad, when you look at the economy of our country right now, we were told a lot of stories when they took over. These ones were thieves, they did this, they did that. But in the normal nutshell, I think let Zambians be Zambian. Zambia must come first before a political party. And Zambia must realize that there's only one Zambia that we have. We can have several presidents, they'll come and go. And I want to call upon the praise singers of UPA, because actually they're the most suffering, because they fought hard, stayed in opposition for so long with the hope that their lives will improve. So the current suffering has not spared them, because they don't have their own filling station where I will say they are buying cheaper fuel. We are buying the same expensive fuel. They don't have a different dollar rate. We are all experiencing the same, you know what I mean? Anything, when you look at our economical crisis, what is affecting us, all of us, is affecting them as well. So when they wake up to start defending, we are not understanding. Because to me, really, I'll tell you, even in the previous regime, would speak out and tell them. When a minister does something else, they'll be taught. So one thing I would say, the UPND, they've not learned from the mistake of their previous regimes, because each government, there's something they did, both the good and the bad. The good, there must be continuity. The bad should be a lesson. We can go back from UNIP, MMD, PF, now we're in UPND. So my question has always been, is it any better than where we're coming from? What has improved? What has changed? Because they'll talk about cadreism. Just today, the cadres of UPND went in Nyimba. They went and closed the office of the council, where the council chairperson, because it's PF, the MP is independent, and they are feeling that that council chairperson is helping the PF. They went and closed the office. Is that not the cadreism that they condemned in PF? But up to now, we've not heard any statement from either government spokesperson, from anybody to condemn that. When there's a wrong being done by themselves, it's ignored, it's not known. But when something, they're being reminded, people are getting arrested. So to me, really, what the UPND has done is to remove cadreism from the streets of Cairo, where it was rampant, and in the markets, in the bus stops, and they've taken it into the corridors of power.
The police
One
force,
of the
yes, in police states, yes, police states.
We are in the police states at the moment. We are in the police states.
Banana
and
Republic.
One of the things, memorial anywhere as long as they
imagine. Banana
Republic. No limits. There's no moral decay. There's no moral decay whatsoever. As long as they feel like they feel so entitled that everything has to be stopped. And I feel so sorry for the police because they're working under very difficult conditions. So what they've done, our friends, the cadreism has just changed offices from the market, wherever it is in the office.
It is even more powerful now. They are controlled from the source.
And so they have even gone and created the cadres in other political parties. That's why even people like Mausa feels untouchable. He can issue statement that the DPP is his friend. The courts, there's nothing that is going to happen. And what is so sad, comrade, in the past, at least even in the previous regime, which was considered to be the West, the courts sometimes will overturn wrong things. There was a hope when you go to courts, they'll interpret the law and be able to correct a mistake that has been done by politicians. But right now, even there, we are not safe. Because I'll give an example of the PF drama. When those that are the legitimate leaders of the PF raises concern, they're saying the matter is in court. But the speaker went and ruled and removed the people that were voted by the party itself.
Imagine.
And put up this Chabinga and his gang. Which law are they using? Because if the matter is in court, up to now, the PF drama in parliament should have remained intact until the court interprets what is and decide what is right. But now we are being told when it fits them, they are able to change things. When they are queried using the same law that they are abusing, they will tell you this matter is in the court. Just last week, a point of order was raised. And I remember the first deputy speaker saying it will remain as a status quo. What about the law? I think Honorable Stotera raised the point of order, expressing disappointment by the vice president when he was recognizing Chabinga as a leader of the opposition in the House. When the ruling came, I was surprised the vice president was not even given an opportunity to answer. The speaker had to answer and say, no, these are matters in court and the status quo remains as it is. How can you have the status quo when there's a matter in court? Because what we are expected, if the law is being respected in this country, what is happening in that house would have expected everything remain as the status quo is supposed to be the original leader of opposition, the legitimate leaders of PF. Because what we are seeing there, it's a UPND led, and they're using a vessel mouse up, and that's what they're trying to do with NDC now. Because we have Akafumba and Levin Goma working together. The moment President Saboi wakes up and raises consent, they are saying 10 to move. There's one case that is happening in Dola High Court. And I want Akafumba to know this, even that judge before that case should be able to realize that today they can manipulate things. They sued Shimbakambwe. Shimbakambwe left the party. Akafumba himself is no longer in the party. Why would the matter continue? But which law are they using? And what's so shocking, they keep on bringing in people to head whatever it is. On the other side, they want to remind those that were legitimate leaders who are the legitimate leaders of NDC, they're saying we have a matter in court. So if you have a matter in court, which law did they use in Kabwe to go and have that convention? Because these are people that don't even have money, but they were able to ferry people from all the provinces. They paid. The police was even there to guard
and the police escort.
Police escort to guard illegality. Because we saw what happened on Independence Day. We are celebrating the Independence Day of Zambia. There was a Mingalato grabbing the PF party at
Imagine.
Now, is this the Mingalato that President HH said? And it's like
he has to go.
Stealing political parties has become common in this country because we don't know the next political party they're going to steal. And you can't. Now, what we are saying, even in Abanamayo bonds, Akafumba must be taught. Let him remain as a civil servant, or can he be relieved his duties and join us on the political arena? He cannot play double standard. Levin Goma is on record. Last time when they were plotting how they were trying to fish out Chibakambwiri under DP, the record is there. So if HH means well and respect the rule of law, those two should have been dropped immediately. Because what they were planning was against the law. But they are there and they have continued. Even this, you know what is the other thing that is so interesting? Do you know that the UPND government signed an SI under the Register of Society without even availing it to the political parties? And they've acted on it. Today, the political parties are told they need to submit all their structures across the country to Register of Society. They're busy doing all sorts of things. And they want to run political parties at Register of Societies. And that's where the Mingato is being done. And we know Akafumba, that's why he's there, because he's good at doing it.
So when did they sign this as a statutory instrument?
I think sometime 2-3 months ago.
Yeah,
2-3 months ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they've started actually acting on it. But as political parties, we've not been availed. We're just now being ordered around, whatever they feel bring. So now, can you imagine? It has never happened where Register of Society decides, and you say, can you bring all your contacts of your structures and all that? For what purpose?
So they buy them.
And this is how now, because they did the reporting. So now those are the Mingalato we are seeing. And we remember when they were saying all political parties that will not have a general conference within 2 months or whatever, they'll be registered. But when you remember, according to the law under the Register of Society, before general election in 2021, all political parties had their general conference. And the general conference only come every after 5 years. So has the 5 years elapsed from 2021? Like I'll give an example, Socialist Party. The next general election is supposed to be in 2025. So we are wondering how they are going to do that.
Yes.
Exactly. Even the story of Jesus, whatever they called it, they had the conference in 2021. The next conference we expect for PF to go to a general conference was supposed to be 2025 or 2026 itself. But even that issue, the wrangles in PF has the capacity to sort their issues without the interference of the UPND.
Exactly.
NDC has the capacity to resolve. Actually, in NDC, there are no issues. They're the ones creating issues. And you know what is interesting? They brought in Akafumba after now being exposed. He goes now and finds another group to start now disputing each other. It's all drama. And then now we have a state that has neglected their duty to ensure that the economy is controlled. This is done. Them now, they are busy fighting the opposition. When they wake up, which political party who is talking the most?
And looting resources.
And looting resources while they are calling their friends, their thieves. Right now, there was a question. There was a question that was asked in Parliament. The Vice President can't even answer because she doesn't have answers. Why they have removed roadblocks from southern to all the way northern, the whole that main road, they have removed the roadblocks. You know, the festive period, there's a lot of wrong activities that goes on. That's a period where in all the previous regime, police actually become busy because there are a lot of road traffic accidents. But we are surprised they've removed those roadblocks. When they were asked, are they an inconvenience? Even you people are pretending, you know that you don't need them. But those the checkpoints are there for a purpose. Before we knew it, 2 days after they removed the checkpoint, there was Mukula. And you know how God is exposing these people? 2 days later, truckloads of mukula in Munali Hills. Was it Munali Hills or in Siavonga, as we are going to Siavonga? Who is the owner of that mukula? We don't know. It's only in this government where we have heard Sujilite trucks getting missing at the police station. Up to today, as a country, we've never known what happened. But they were the police.
Imagine, in a rule of law.
They were busy saying Jim Kapata was the one stealing mukula. That's it. I was saying, are they the owners of the mukula that we saw collapsing on the way?
Imagine.
So there's a lot of wrong things that are going on. To us, to me, that's why I said, PF as a government, they did their part. Let them acknowledge the success. We have also seen also now the impersonation of projects that their friends did. They are now going to impersonate instead of even acknowledging, because in every government, there's supposed to be continuity of projects. So as you are continuing, acknowledge also the people that started. PF, they did their part in terms of development. They had cadarism that messed them up. They are out. These guys came with a formula and they told us they had a solution to all the problems. They had a solution to fuel, they had solution to the dollar, they had solution to everything. Right now, my dear, we don't know what's going to happen in 2024 because the farming season of 2023-2024 already is a big mess. They've got to give the farmers.
I hear they are exporting fertilizer.
Yeah, they're exporting fertilizer. They are going to give the farmers 10,000 kwacha. They expect the farmer to pay back 60,000 kwacha. Is that not just where would they get? Look at even the rainy season. Safety, robbing our poor people. The FISI program, how do you start graduating people as if they were in a college or university? They were in?
Imagine.
Because that program was introduced for a purpose. There are people that could not afford. You are saying, no, they need to graduate. How do you graduate people you never enrolled for training? So there are a lot of wrong things that are going on. And it's not everything that previous regimes left are bad. They needed to see where are the mistakes, especially this issue of FISI. Honorable Mtono will be answerable for failure because this is a man who has been there from MMD, has been there from PF, he should have guided. He knows. But right now, if you go down in Chadiza, people have no fertilizer, but they're exporting fertilizer. Contracts are being cancelled when people are supposed to be receiving fertilizer. We are in December. People are still sharing in the medals.
It is crimes against humanity, Mwandini. Exactly. Are they trying to, is it population control? I'm like, are they trying to kill all the Zambians? I don't know.
And the Minister of Health has disappeared. You haven't seen her in the past 1 month. You don't know where she is. She has disappeared. Whether she went with the patients to Tanzania, those cancer patients, we don't know. She has disappeared. In the hospitals, people are dying. It's only those that can afford to go to a private. You go to the hospital, the only medicine is there, it's a script to go and buy. NIMA program, which was put that should have benefited people, even the civil servant, has been messed up. So we are in some, we don't know where we are, and we just need, I think, in conclusion, we need to urge people to watch this space, and we need to wake up. So 2026, they should not entertain lies. Because 2 years, going into 3 years, you cannot always be blaming your friends. What are you doing better yourself? CDF.
You know, I've been here 23 years, and I was thinking, I was thinking by 23 years, Zambia will be okay. I can go and retire in Zambia in peace.
My dear, you are better off where you are.
Oh my God.
CDF has got presidential directives. The president decides, buy police vehicles. Actually, one was actually fallen in Malambo. Now you put police vehicle. You buy police. I'll give an example. Chadiza district needs an ambulance. Police. Are you people they don't have an ambulance. Chadiza people, they are beyond right now.
There is a man who sent me a picture. Is a teacher.
They don't have the mortuary is not working. Yeah, we are in December. They increased CDF to 28. As we are speaking, only 6 million has been released. When will be the 20-something be released?
So let's close. Women, President, Your Excellency, Madam President Tulela, and let's continue talking. 2026 is far, and it's far but near.
We just need to enlighten the voters. What we need to do now is to enlighten the voters.
Yes.
To work it them up. They need to understand that
expose everything.
Exactly. Very true.
We need to do that.
We need to do that.
And you are welcome on this page anytime. We'll try tomorrow, maybe because it was the first time, but we can always use a Zoom. If not, we can go directly on Facebook. We just need to be talking. If you have a topic, inbox me. We can prepare. We come and talk. Especially issue Yakumwa registrar is really important because they are trying to control political parties.
We'll certainly do that. We thank you so much for this opportunity. We thank you so much for this conversation. It has really been good, and we look forward to more conversations with you.
Amen. Thank you so much. I think it's late. We'll continue. All right, let me end the live broadcast. Good night, people. Just hold on, don't go away. So